What's up, everybody? Teague from Battle City Games, back with another deck profile post-Alliance insight for y'all. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Maliss. Maliss is expected to be one of the strongest decks going into this next format, thanks to the fact that it not only got direct support with Maliss P. March Hare, Maliss in the Mirror, as well, but also the Adagnister support that came out in this set with Allied Code Talker Adagnister, Backup Adagnister, Cybers Wizard. It just got a lot of direct and indirect support for this set, so people are expecting it to be very powerful. And we're going to be taking a look at what I think is the best way to play the deck going into this upcoming format, going into Providence this coming weekend, as well as going forward into the Alliance Insight season. So, starting off with our monsters, we of course are going to have triple Maliss P. March Hare. This is a brand new card the deck got. It is a Secret Rare and Alliance Insight. And it has a couple of effects. So first, your opponent can't target Maliss monsters that point to it with card effects, which can help protect things like your White Binder and your Red Ransom from cards like Infinite Impermanence. And then it has a quick effect in hand. You can banish during the main phase, you can banish a Maliss monster from your hand or graveyard. Very important that you can do it from hand as well, because there will be instances where you want to do that. And then it special summons itself. And then, unlike the other Maliss monsters, when it's banished, you pay 300 life points and add a Maliss monster from your banish zone back to your hand. And it can even add itself back. So there's situations where you will banish it for an effect and then just pay 300 to add it back so that you have it as disruption or follow-up on your opponent's turn. I can't understate how incredibly powerful this is. And it's a card that the OCG, we saw them played at 1 or 2 copies at first, but I think with our format and the power level of this card, it's absolutely a 3 of in the deck. Moving on into the other Maliss names, we are on 3 Maliss P. Chessy Cat. I think we can all agree this is the weakest Maliss monster, but it is a Maliss name, which is why we still have it at 3. You want to open a Maliss name, especially now with the addition of Backup Adagnister. Even opening Chessy Cat plus a Backup Adagnister is going to end up being full Maliss combo for you, which is why we want it at 3. Then we are on 2 Dormouse, because that is all we are allowed to have, as well as 2 White Rabbit for the same reason. Because of the addition of March Hare and some of the other stuff, this deck is still incredibly consistent. So having 2 copies is not the end of the world for us. Moving on into the non-Maliss cards, we do have 3 of the brand new Backup Adagnister. Cybers Tuner. If you control a Cybers monster that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can special summon her from your hand. And then on normal or special summon, she can search your deck for a Dark Cybers monster, add it to your hand, and then you discard a card. So if you open up any of your Maliss names, you can summon them, and then let's say they get impermed, you can link them all to a Lingaribo, special summon her. She can search your another Maliss like March Hare. You can discard any other card from your hand, and then you can use March Hare to banish that Maliss that's in your graveyard. There's a variety of ways a combo can go, but just the extension that this new card adds to the deck really cannot be understated. So extremely powerful, and another card that you are absolutely going to want to play at 3 copies in your deck. Next up, another brand new card. We do have 1 Wizard Adagnister. This is level 4 Cybers. That again, if you control a Cybers that was special summoned from the extra deck, you can target a Dark Cybers monster in your graveyard, special summon Wizard from your hand, and that monster from your graveyard. And then you are in defense position, and then you are locked into Cybers for the rest of the turn. Surprised, this is a Cybers deck. We don't care that we're locked into Cybers monsters. And then it does have a secondary effect that you can banish it from your graveyard and then target a monster that your opponent controls and change its battle position. That can come up for pushing for a little bit of extra damage. Getting something like a Mitsurugi Futsu that has 3,400 defense into attack position can be big. And then don't forget that this does not negate the effects of a monster that it summons from a graveyard. So if you have a Dormouse or a White Rabbit in your graveyard whose effect you didn't activate, you can still use that once you summon them out with the Wizard as Adagnister. So a very powerful extender. The reason we have it at 1 is because we do need a Maliss set up in grave already before it becomes useful, versus the backup Adagnister, which is going to actively get us to our Maliss cards. And then for the only 2 non-Cyberse monsters in the main deck, we're on a very small Bestial package, 1 Magnuma, 1 Juraswarm. These are still not only potential disruption against decks like Blue Eyes or Fiendsmith-based decks, but they are still also extenders that can banish your Maliss names. So it's still very powerful. Because of the additional support we've received, we're no longer playing Baldrake or anything like that. We just cut it down to the 2 best Bestials, but still worth a slot in the deck. Moving on to the spells, we have the 2 allowed Malice in Underground, plus the 1 Terraforming. Again, it'd be great if Underground was still at 3, but Terraforming acts as your 3rd copy, so still happy that we do at least have pseudo 3 of copies of this card. Then we have the 1 brand new Malice in the Mirror. This is a very powerful card, but I think people kind of overlook its versatility a little bit. It's a quick play spell. You target a face-up monster your opponent controls, banish a Malice from your hand or face-up field, and then negate the effects of that monster. And then if this card is banished, you can banish a Malice card from your graveyard, either spell, trap, or monster, and then add a Malice card of that same type from your deck to your hand. So this first effect, it helps you play for your Lancia, because now if you do get Lancia, as long as you can get into a Red Ransom, you can grab Malice in the Mirror with Red Ransom, set Malice in the Mirror, then on your opponent's turn you can use it, target a monster to negate the effect, so that's 1 disruption, then you banish your Red Ransom will trigger, summoning herself back, summoning a Malice White Rabbit in the process by banishing that. White Rabbit will come back, and it can set your MTP07, which will then be another disruption. So even for your Lancia, you're setting up a minimum 2 disruptions, which is absolutely amazing. And then the effect to search when it's banished is very versatile. You can even banish this off of your Malice in Underground directly from deck if you need to for some reason. So really powerful card. And it's great that it helps breaking boards and playing into boards as well. Speaking of playing into boards, I did choose to go with 3 copies of Metaltronus. Again, the fact that any of your Malice names can not only potentially negate your opponent's Malice effects if they're on Malice, but also banish them face down if you choose to do so. This is a very powerful disruption in the mirror match, also going into decks like Ryzeal. I just really like the versatility of it. And it can also even just get you a Malice name to board. If you open up this going second, no other ways to a Malice name in the mirror match, or if your opponent has a monster whose stats line up, you can use this to just summon out a Malice monster and have it as link material. So very powerful card in the deck. Then for a couple one-offs, we have a 1 Gold Sark, pretty staple in the deck. It's another starter for us, another extender for the deck, just a great card. 1 Triple Tactics Talent. It is at 1 now. We're going to play the 1 copy we're allowed. Because Malice can play through hand traps so well now, if you open this and your opponent hand traps you, being able to go talents to look at their hand and then either pull another hand trap or pull a crucial engine piece for them and then still potentially go full combo is just extremely powerful. And then for a little bit of protection, we are on 1 Called By, 1 Crossout Designator. Called By, even though we play through hand traps well, it's still good to be able to stop them in the event that maybe we have a weaker hand and need our effects to resolve. And Crossout for the same reason. Additionally, going post-side, you have Crossout. You can side in a copy of Lancia for a Crossout target because you know your opponent's going to be siding that in for you. So it's pretty versatile for that reason. Moving into the traps, we have our 3 Maliss traps, still just one ofs, TB11, GWC06, and MTP07. Definitely never need more than these 3. Some people are starting to cut TB11. I understand the reasoning behind that, but I still like it for the versatility it provides, especially in playing under Lancia. So I still choose to play it. If you choose to cut it, I don't necessarily think you're wrong, but for now we are still on 1 copy of each. And then moving into the hand traps, we have triple Dominus Impulse and triple Infinite Impermanence. Dominus Impulse is one of the best hand traps in the game right now. It's not going anywhere. The fact that we can utilize it with basically no downside is just so incredibly powerful. Same thing with Infinite Impermanence, just one of the best hand traps in the game, which is why we're going to play it. Then we are on triple copies of Molcharmy Purulia. This is, in my opinion, the best Molcharmy to main deck this format, because it's going to get you at minimum 1 to 2 draws against pretty much every deck in the format, versus a card like Fuelos or Meows, where depending on the matchup, you may get 1 draw at most, and in some cases potentially 0 draws. So for me, Purulia is the most versatile. However, if your local meta is different and you feel a different Molcharmy is better, by all means switch it out. Or if you don't have access to Molcharmies, this can be any other hand trap that you want to play. Not having this is not going to stop you from being able to play this deck list. And then for the last hand trap, of course, it's going to be Ash Blossom. This can help us stop opposing Molcharmies. It has more versatility in the format. Now that Maliss does have a card like Backup Adagnister, you can use Ash Blossom on that, so you do have more targets in the mirror match as well, and it remains just as powerful as always. So that wraps up the main deck. Moving into the extra deck, we are going to start with our Link 1s. Lingaribo, this has been a staple in the deck for a while. Just being able to turn any of your Maliss monsters or any Cyberse monster into this, not only to get a Cyberse monster from the extra deck onto board for something like Backup Adagnister now, but also being able to just have that track negate, can stop cards like Infinite Impermanence, Dominus Impulse, or in the mirror match, if you know your opponent has something like an MTP07 set, you can summon something and immediately go into Lingaribo to kind of insulate the rest of your combo playing into your opponent's board. So great card. Some people are playing 2. Instead of playing 2, I am choosing to play V1 Salamangreat Almirage. Again, it's a Cyberse monster, so it does fit our theme for Backup Adagnister. The important part with this card is that if you open only Backup Adagnister plus a hand trap like Ash Blossom, you can summon the Ash Blossom, link it into Almirage, use Backup Adagnister to summon itself and search, and then proceed to combo from there, because you search a Maliss, discard it, then link your Adagnister and Almirage into Splash Mage, and continue to combo. In my opinion, it's important to make your hands more playable. Moving into the Link 2s, Haggard Lizardos. This has been a mainstay in the extra deck for a while. I don't think it's going anywhere at the moment. Just being able to turn any 2 monsters into it and then banish a Maliss from your graveyard to get your combo going is very powerful. 1 Cyberse Wicked. This is a new addition with the Adagnister support that we received. Being able to summon something to a zone this points to and then search your Backup Adagnister to add another extender is very powerful. We have the 1 Splash Mage. Again, just an integral part of the extra deck for this deck, and a great way to get your combos going through some of your more awkward hands. I am choosing to play IP Masquerena. This is one of your inboard pieces for your Lancia, depending on the board you set up and what cards you have access to for making that board. This is also part of the reason we play the TB11, because under Lancia, there's a lot of times where we can get to Masquerena plus a set TB11, and then on our opponent's turn, we can link the monsters off into SP Little Knight. SP Little Knight not only disruption against the opponent, but again in Maliss can act as an extender by summoning it and banishing one of our Malisses from graveyard. Moving into the Maliss monsters, we of course have the 1 Red Ransom, the 1 White Binder, and the 1 Heart Scriptor. No real need to play more than one of these, as long as you don't get hit with a Cashier Unicorn. But they are, of course, all very important to the deck. Red Ransom, especially being able to search Maliss in the mirror now, as mentioned previously, gives you more options to play into Lancia, which I think is really all this deck could ask for, outside of the additional consistency, is being better into the card, but everybody's going to side deck against it. So we've got those 3 Maliss names. For our other Link 3, we do have the Decode Talker Heat Soul. Again, another option under Lancia, just being able to pay that 1,000 life points, draw a card, gives you the option to draw into more hand traps, more extenders depending on the board state, and with your A-Code Talker at Ignister, being able to potentially summon this back when you summon him, and then use that draw effect, just gives you a very powerful board. Then for our Link 4s, we have Firewall Dragon. Remember, if you Dominus Impulse, you won't be wanting to go into your Firewall Dragon if you did it from hand, but this has been a powerful addition to the extra deck since the deck came out, and now there are combos where you can set this up underneath your Allied Code Talker at Ignister alongside 2 Maliss monsters, and this can be a bounce 3 effect for you, quick effect on your opponent's turn. So he just got even more powerful for the deck. For the last Link 4, Access Code Talker, it's so incredibly easy to get into this card with just one of your Maliss Link 3s plus any other monster. This thing ends games pretty easily, and definitely something you want to have access to in your extra deck. And then you've heard me mention him. For our 1 Link 5, we are playing the Allied Code Talker at Ignister. This card on summon summons as many Link 3 monsters with 2300 attack as possible to zones that he points to. You are locked out of summoning for the rest of the turn after that, so you always want him to be your last action. But then he has a quick effect when your opponent activates a card or effect. Tribute a monster that points to him, and then negate that effect and banish that card. So he is very powerful, great for your inboard, and again, allows you to summon back those Maliss Links, summon back Heat Soul, just set up some really powerful inboards. You don't need more than one for sure, but he's a really great addition to the inboard. And then the last card, because we're playing Metal Chernus, we are playing the 1 Ryzeal Detonator. I feel like if you're going to play Metal Chernus, you need the Detonator so that you have that out to Ryzeal boards, especially now with Detonator being at 1. If you can hit them with Metal Churnish, banish their Detonator face down, it's going to be incredibly hard for them to win the game from that game state. So that's going to be the last card in our extra deck. And that wraps up the deck profile, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, Maliss is looking to be one of the strongest decks going into this format. I wanted to give y'all my build, give you something to start with, and also hear your thoughts on the deck. What do you think of the deck? What do you think it's going to fall in the meta? And maybe what are you doing to counter some of the expected cards like Lancia that you may see going into this format? Let me know down below in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and keep an eye out for more Alliance Insight content coming soon. Thanks, guys.